Welcome, friends, and welcome, Pradeep. Thanks, everyone, for joining today. We had received a lot of very wonderful comments from our friends after looking at the video that was shared also on YouTube later. So, new participants are on here today. So, friends, welcome. So, this is the second part of the discussion we started yesterday. So, I would first wish everyone a happy Guru Purnima. So, a day where we, let's say, convey our gratitude to our masters. And I would like to also share my gratitude to Pradeep. Apart from being my friend, he's also a nice master. I have learned a lot from you, Pradeep. So thanks a lot and wish you a happy Guru Purnima. And I wish you also every master who is on this platform now a happy Guru Purnima. And Pradeep, now the platform is yours. So please.
Thank you. Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you very much. The same wise, I learned a lot from you too. So we all learn from each other. So whoever we learn from, they become our Guru. And today is a Guru Purnima. The importance of this particular day is to acknowledge the inner Guru. So we have an inner Guru and also we have an outer Guru. So for a person who is connected to the inner Guru, will be able to connect to the outer Guru. So before you connect to the outer Guru, you have to connect to the inner Guru. So that's how the equation works. If you are not connected to the inner Guru, you cannot connect to the outer Guru. And how many Gurus we can have? We can have infinite number of Gurus, outer Gurus. Our intent to learn, our intent to grow, our intent to evolve is our inner Guru. And all the circumstances, all the people, all the situations who help us in this journey, they are our outer Gurus. So I bow down to all my outer Gurus from all my past lives and even in this life. So happy Guru Purnima to all of you. And let us go to today's topic. So we have done a few minutes of meditation. So we started with meditation. We will continue from where we have stopped yesterday. I hope you can able to see my screen. Yes.
Yes, Pradeep.
Yeah. Okay. So today we will discuss a little more about karma, and also we will take question and answers, and also being a full moon. Paurnami means full moon. So being a Guru Purnima, towards the end of the session, we will have a meditation also, because today is a very powerful day. So we'll do meditation towards the session. So what we have discussed, we stopped here with the karma categories. So as we discussed yesterday, so we have 3 categories of karma, which is past, current, and future. So in simple, the past karma is all the karmas from all our past lives till this moment is the sanchita. And prarabdha is the karma which we have brought upon to ourselves, which we planned and which we volunteered to bring down in this particular lifetime. So that is prarabdha. And kiyamana is the karma for all the challenges we have brought in the prarabdha. How we handle the prarabdha becomes our kiyamana. And agami is a conscious planning for your future lifetimes. So you do certain karmas, like, you do meditation or you do service, or, these are the karmas you consciously plan for a happier future lifetimes. Or with a mission, you plan certain things for your future lifetime's mission. So the agami is something what you do today, planning, knowing that is what you want for tomorrow. So that is agami. And let us discuss the dynamics of karma. How the dynamics of the karma are. So I'll just give an example. Thought, when we think of someone, we just think of someone, can be either positive or negative, doesn't matter. You think of somebody, so there is an energy link which happens. Our thoughts are nothing but energy. So there is an energy link between the two people. Even when you think, there is an energy link. And in that energy link, there is an exchange of information between you both. So if you are thinking positive about that person, then you are sending a positive vibrations towards that person. So what you send comes back to you. So you think of good to others, good will happen to you, because that's the link, the energy link. And the same with the opposite. You think of even, jealousy, hatred, anger, whatever the negative emotion you think about a person, you are not doing any harm. You are not physically doing any negative things, but you're just thinking negative. Even that goes and affects him. So that goes affects his energy field. And because his energy field is affected, and that will come back to you, and your energy field will be affected, eventually that negative will come back to you. So it is very important to understand that it is really possible to harm somebody, even though if you don't intend to harm. Unconsciously, you might think negative about a person, even that creates a harm, and that comes back to you as a karma. So you see, we have to be 100% aware of our thoughts, of our emotions, and of our feelings. If you're not aware 100%, then subconsciously we continue this pattern. Unknowingly, we do a lot of bad karmas. So that's why it is very important to raise our awareness. Again, the way to raise our awareness is through meditation. So again, karma, as I said, is to take responsibility. And here I'm again emphasizing we have to take responsibility for our thoughts, for our feelings, and for our words, and even for our actions. The responsibility is the same. And let us also discuss something about samskaras. What are samskaras? It's a Sanskrit word, as you can see in the image. So there is a trail left behind on the stone. You see, the mission with a needle is going around the stone, but there is a trail, there is a impressions which have left on the stone. So we leave a lot of imprints of our own karmas. So whatever you do today, that creates an impression, that the seeds of that imprints stays within us. And even after your physical death, it doesn't go away. During the physical death, we drop our physical body and we drop our etheric body. But these samskaras, these imprints, these seeds of our actions, they carry along with our astral body, and it goes and deposits into your sanchita karma. So it is very important that whatever we do, the imprints are always with us. You do a certain action this moment and the imprints are already there. So we have to be very careful what kind of imprints we want to have within our system. Do we want a negative imprints or whether we want positive imprints? So you have to be attentive, aware each and every moment. And in Sanskrit, this term is called samskaras. These impressions, it's called samskaras. Again, as I told you, the next, it gets stored in the sanchita karma, and in the next lifetime you are born with a new physical body, you are born with a new etheric body, you are born with a new astral body. So we have 7 bodies, my dear friends. So we are born with new physical, new etheric, and new astral. So what we bring again from to the next lifetime becomes the prarabdha, and that prarabdha is within our etheric field, within our energy body. So this is how the karmic structures are stored. So our physical body is surrounded by layers and layers of information field. This is our etheric body. And all the information about you, about your karma, is stored within this. So there are layers within our energy body, there are layers. So the hierarchy of what the information is, the top layer is the superficial layer. The top layer consists of all your thoughts, all your emotions, on all your experiences in the present life. That is in the outermost layer. And then you go a little more deeper, then you have all the information about your family members, your paternal, maternal lines, your children, all your family karma are a little bit more deeper. And then furthermore deeper is all your behavioral patterns, your information from all your past lives is stored deep inside. So this is how the information of the karma is stored in the form of karmic structures. And karma affects a person's character. Karma affects physical conditions, it affects the health, it affects destiny or fate. All aspects, character, physical conditions, health, destiny, fate, they're all interrelated. And karma affects all of these things. And one of the other aspects is external interference to one's own karma. So without understanding the bigger picture, without completely knowing the karmic fields for another person, if you go through, if a healer heals you, or you go through a healer asking for help, asking for external help, so there the healer might not completely be aware of your karmic structures. So if the healer is completely aware of your karmic structures, he will never heal you. He will educate you for self-healing. And the self-healing happens through meditation. And the self-healing happens through understanding of the spiritual science. The self-healing happens through the proper understanding of the spiritual laws. So a real healer doesn't heal. A real healer assists towards the self-healing process. So, for example, the healer has some gifts. By birth, he has some gifts. Like he has the capacity to heal. That is a gift. He really has the capacity to heal, but that gift comes with a great responsibility. So if the healer misuses, misusing means he feels I can heal, so I can heal others. He has the heart, he has the intent to heal others. But without understanding the bigger picture, if he starts healing the people, what happens? It's going to affect him back. That karma is going to come back to him. So let us see a case study. For example, a healer heals a person whose vision is deteriorating, right? And because the healer heals, in this case study, let us say the name is Jane. Because Jane's vision is getting deteriorating, and she goes to a healer, and the healer heals. And Jane's vision improves. The vision is definitely improved after the healing process. And she enjoys a perfect vision. And now what happens? Because, as I told you, the karmic structures are a unified field. It's within our etheric body. So you heal one aspect of it, and the other aspect of your information field gets affected. So Jane now performs very poorly in the studies. She was performing well before, but now her performance in her studies goes lower. And because of that, she loses her scholarship and she cannot enroll in a good university and she has to drop out of the school. Now her destiny is changed. See, she has planned to get graduation from a very good university. But because she went through a healer, taking the help, external help, not understanding the self-healing process, so her actions had changed her destiny. Her vision improved, but she dropped out of the very good university, so her destiny is changed. So what happens to the healer then? What does the healer do? The healer takes the negative energy and then throws out to the universe or the earth or to the water. She does something because the energy cannot be destroyed. So she has to transfer that energy to somewhere. So because the healer is removing certain part of the energy and then disposing of, then what happens? Because of her actions, the environment or the land or water or whatever is also getting affected. So that comes back to her. So automatically the healer's energy field gets degraded. So this is how the healer goes through the karmic thing. But on the other hand, if you go through a self-healing process, you know what happens? You are not transferring the energy, you are transforming the energy. With your understanding, with your enlightenment, with your awareness, you are transforming the negative energy into positive. That is a self-healing process. So self-healing process is a permanent healing process. And that is the importance we have to understand, not to depend on others for your healing. You can take the help of others to learn how to do meditation, to learn how to go through the self-healing process. So that is assistance. Assistance is allowed. That is what we call a therapy. A good therapist assists another person towards the self-healing process. That is allowed, that is permitted, and that is very good. You have to help everybody, whoever around you, you have to help them towards their self-healing process. So when you have gone through this self-healing process, then what happens? You discover your mastery. You really discover your mastery. You feel confident. Yes, I can heal myself. And in the process of healing, you learn the lessons. So the next time you have a challenge in your life, you will not be dependent on somebody else. You know what to do. So you're becoming more and more empowered. So you should be empowered, and you should also support another person to discover his own mastery. Then that is a good karma. And now let us discuss about the intensity of the karma. So how do we define whether the karma is intense or not intense? It depends on our life challenges. So the intensity of the karma depends on the prarabdha. So how much intense karma we have brought in before our soul has incarnated. So that becomes our prarabdha. So the intensity of the karma is directly related to the intensity of the challenges. If you are going through a very great challenge, so that means the karma is very, very intense. If you are going through a very mild challenge, then the intensity of a karma is probably less. So let us understand a little more deeper. So we have three categories again in the intensities. The first is the Drida karma, the second is Drida, Adrida, and the third is Adrida karmas. So it's again a Sanskrit word, Drida. Drida means fixed. So here in this category, the life challenges are unchangeable. Here the intensity is very, very high. So you cannot change or do anything about the challenges. So if you are going through that kind of a situation, you have to understand it's a very, very intense karma. It's a Drida karma. The challenges are fixed. You cannot do anything with the challenge, but you have a free will, how you react to the challenge. That free will is always there, but the challenge is fixed. So that is the first category. And the second category is Drida and Adrida. So by birth, it is fixed. The challenges are fixed by birth, but you can make a proper effort by applying the right spiritual science, and with the right practice of meditation, you can undo the challenge. So that is the second category, which is Drida and Adrida. Fixed, it is fixed by birth, but you can unfix it out of your free will. So in this second category, the challenges is little bit less. The intensity is little bit less. And then the third category, Adrida karmas. Adrida karmas is just like floating, it's not fixed. The challenges are very mild. With a little application of awareness, you can easily come out of these challenges. So that is the third category. So I'll give some examples, then you'll understand a little bit more. So for the first category, Drida karmas, let us take this example. Jennifer, she's a single mother with 3 children, and 2 of her children are handicapped, and the third one is autistic child or a bipolar. Now, her challenge, her family situation cannot be changed, because by birth, she got these 3 children who are challenged, who are mentally challenged and physically challenged. So she cannot do anything about the situation. She has to deal with it till the end of her lifetime. So this is a very, very, very intense karma she has chosen for herself to learn some lessons. Possibly What are the soul lessons? She has to learn responsibility. Possibly, there might be many lessons, but just a possibility is to learn responsibility. She might have, in her past lives, she might have missed the lesson of learning responsibilities. She might have postponed for many lifetimes. So in this lifetime, before she is born, she has decided, in this lifetime, I have to learn this lesson at any cost. So she has picked upon this karma, a Drida karma, where the situation cannot be changed. So that's an example. And the second is Drida and Adrida. So now here, let us say a girl, Mary, she developed breast cancer at the age of 30. Now that is her soul planning. And why did she develop this breast cancer? Because deep down she hated herself. And that is the root cause of all the cancers. When you hate yourself, then you manifest in cancer. So why she hated herself? Because she was born in a family where her mother used to abuse her, where her mother used to psychologically abuse her and ill-treat her. So she lost her confidence, she lost her self-esteem, and she started feeling very low about herself. And as she is growing up, she started hating herself. And again, because of that, she started manifesting a breast cancer. Everything is planned according to the soul design. That is all, everything is planned. So it is planned, it is drida, it is fixed that she has to be born to such kind of a mother. So that is fixed. But after she was diagnosed with cancer, she has the free will to understand that the root cause of the cancer is because she is hating herself. So she understands that she can undo that by loving herself through self-love. So she starts meditating and she starts loving herself, and she makes every effort to neutralize all the hatred she has done, and she is replacing that with the love energy. Now the beauty is, over a period of time, she is healed with cancer. So even though it is the challenge is fixed, but she has the capacity to unfix it by using the proper awareness and by learning the soul lessons. So this is the second category. Now the third category is Adrida, which is unfixed. Here, just an example, John, he joined a new company as a manager and he is not happy with this job and he's going through a lot of trouble and there is no satisfaction in his job and he wants to quit the job, but he is in a position, he is with full of fear, he doesn't want to quit. So that is a challenge for him. Now, if John is still harboring the fear energies because he doesn't have confidence that he will find a better job, so because of that fear, he will continue suffering in that same job. But with a little bit of awareness, he can clearly see that this is not what he wants in life and he deserves to be respected. And here the possible lesson is again self-love, self-respect. So he says, more than my job, my self-respect is more important. So I quit this job and I have the confidence I'll find a new job. So he will find a new job. Now the challenge is finished because he found a new job and it's a new situation. So this is an unfixed. This is an example for an Adrida karmas. So these are the examples, my dear friends, of the categories of the karmas. So now let us go into the reincarnation. Yesterday I told you the law of karma is closely interrelated to the law of reincarnation. What is law of reincarnation? The first time the soul comes to the earth, takes over a physical body, that is incarnation. So you are incarnating, the soul is incarnating into the physical body. So the first time you come, that is called incarnation. And one lifetime is not sufficient to learn all the lessons. It is very evident. So the soul has to vacate the body after a certain period of time. And because the lessons are not finished, the soul comes back again. And when the soul comes back again, it is called reincarnation. So this is a law, whether you accept it or not, whether you like it or not. We take many lifetimes to learn our lessons. So what kind of life we choose the next lifetime depends on your karma. So this is how the law of reincarnation and law of karma is interrelated. And before we choose our next life, there is a lot of planning, which we call pre-birth planning session, which happens in the higher worlds. Our spirit guides, they help us to choose, to plan properly our next lifetime, depending on the lessons we need to learn, depending on the karmas we have. So it's very carefully planned. It is called a pre-birthing session. And what we choose our parents and they choose us. It's mutual. Yes, we do choose our parents. If your parents are abusive, if you are born in an unloving environment, you have chosen it. You have chosen it for a reason. And our job is to understand what is the reason we have chosen this particular situation, this particular challenge in this lifetime. So when you start understanding why, then you understand the soul lessons. So we choose our parents, we choose our time, the place, which country you need to be born, whether you need to be born as a male or a female, which school you need to go through, and what kind of a house, what kind of a home we live in, and what kind of people we meet in that particular incarnation, and the relationships we have. Yes, all the relationships we have is already planned in the pre-birth section. And as I told you, all the plans we choose and we discuss with our spirit guides. Sometimes our choices are not in alignment with our progress, then that is when the spirit guides assist us. So our soul, see, in the physical body, there is an amnesia. We don't understand. But on the soul level, we understand everything. We see completely 360 degrees about ourselves, what we have learned so far, what we have to learn next, and what we need to know. The soul is fully aware. But when we come to the planet Earth, there is an amnesia. So we forget everything. So the whole game of life and death is forgetting and remembering. So our spirit guides really help us in this. And also our spirit guides, they after we incarnate on the planet Earth, our spirit guides help us to make sure we are learning the lessons, to make sure that we are not going this way or that way. So they make our efforts, provided we are willing. If we are willing, they are always there to support us. How to get their support is to raise your frequency. Our awareness, most of the people on the planet Earth, their awareness is either on the body level or on the mind level. But when you raise your awareness beyond the body level, beyond the mind level, and when you raise your awareness to the soul level, then you are in contact with all your spirit guides and astral masters. Then you get crystal clear clarity, what to do, what not to do, which direction to take in life, what to do in your relationship, whether to stay back in the relationship or move forward. All these guidance you will receive from your higher self when you raise your vibrations. And that's why I said meditation is very, very important. If you want to work on your karma, meditation is absolutely a must. Now, what is the purpose of the pre-birth planning? So there are many factors. So some of the factors are sometimes we plan certain events because we need to seek balance in all our experiences. And sometimes we need to pay off our own karmic debts. And sometimes we need to shed light. We have many people have a lot of ignorance. So they choose a particular planning. They choose a particular situation in their lifetime where they say, okay, in this lifetime, I want to come out of my ignorance. So to shed light on the ignorance and also to come to the light of the truth and also to transmute the unresolved negative energies. If you, at the time of death, if you're having a lot of negative emotions, like, if you're having anger, revenge, if you're having jealousy, just before the moment you vacate the body, if you're having all these negative emotions, then you have to transform that negative emotions. So the next lifetime you will be born with the same emotions, or you will choose the same circumstances where you receive more of the negative emotions. Frequency attracts frequency. So until you resolve, until you transform all the negative energies, you will be uh, born in the same situation again and again. And also, the other aspect is to develop specific soul qualities. We all have unique soul signatures. So we want to develop a specific soul quality, so that might also be a reason. And finally, to pay off others' karmic debts. And this category is for enlightened people. For normal people, they don't have the capacity to pay off others' karmic debts. Yes, for enlightened people, it is possible. So I'll give you some examples, then you will understand more of this. So our soul wishes to experience both sides of the coin because every experience counts. In the physical, there is a good experience and there is a bad experience. For the physical, there is a good experience and there is a bad experience. But for the soul, all experiences are equally valid. All experiences are equally important. When you are going through a success, that is an experience. But when you are going through a failure, that is also equally a great experience. And for the soul, on the higher planes, the soul rejoices the success, the soul rejoices the failure, because there is no failure and success in reality. In reality, there is just an experience. So the soul wishes to balance all the experiences. So that's one of the reasons, this one of the considerations in the pre-birth planning session. For example, the soul takes 10 incarnations in a male body. Then the soul would like to balance it. Okay, I've already taken 10 incarnations in the male body. Now I know what it is to be like in a male body, but I don't know what it is to be like in a female body. So now I want to take a female body. So the soul balances out. So for the next 10 incarnations, the soul will choose a female body. Okay. And then let us go through a case study. So in this present life, for example, Robert is diagnosed with a very rare disease and there's no medical cure. And because of that disease, he was completely paralyzed. And that is the present life situation. So let us see why he has manifested that, why he has planned that paralysis in this lifetime. So in the past life, the same Robert in the past life was a man named David, and he was driving a car and he got an accident. He hit a person and he just went off to rescue himself. And the victim who went through the accident, he was paralyzed. And David was not aware of that. But still, he was paralyzed. So still, he has to take the responsibility. Still, the karma comes to his account. So now the Robert soul, in the pre-birth planning, the Robert soul wishes to balance that experience. He says like, yeah, because of my actions, I was driving the car, and because of my negligence, somebody became paralyzed. So I would rather balance that. I would rather balance the karma. So you can balance the karma in 1001 ways. So here in this example, he chooses to balance that karma by going through the same experience, so that for the soul, for him, it is a great experience to see how it is to get paralyzed. So that's the reason he manifested that disease. So in that way, he is balancing the karma also, and also he is learning the lesson through that experience. He is learning the lesson. So this is just an example. And paying of the karmic debts is all the negative karma has to be neutralized in one way or the other way. It has to be neutralized. There is no other way. There is no other go. There is no escape. You have to neutralize it. How to neutralize it? The more you learn the lessons and the more you settle the accounts. First is you have to learn the lesson, and number two, you have to settle the accounts. So when you do this, you are neutralizing all the karmic debts. Now let us go through a case study here. So that
Pradeep?
with example, yes, Ramesh?
Yeah, sorry. Probably your mic is being moved and there is a scratching sound. So,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Is it better now?
Yes, yes,
Maybe because I'm moving my hands, it is.
maybe. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So coming back to this case study, Sarah has a disabled child named John, and Sarah spends the whole lifetime taking care of John. So this is the present life. So why she has chosen this kind of a thing? So let us go through the past life. So these are all examples for us to understand the science of karma, the law of karma in a bigger picture. So in her past life, Sarah has done a lot of negative actions towards John in many, many lifetimes, in not in one lifetime, in many, many lifetimes. And then she has realized her consequences and she has learned her lessons. So because she has learned the lessons, but still she has to settle the accounts. So she volunteers in the pre-birth planning. She volunteers to pay back, to settle the accounts by taking care of John. So in that particular, in the present lifetime, so Shara takes care of John by giving a lot of love and compassion. So in that way, she is neutralizing the karma. And what about John? Why John has to go through that process? John has agreed to take that role voluntarily so that it is his payback for his bad karmas he has done with the other people in the past lives. So that's how the souls, they choose mutually. If two people are involved in a relationship, if two people are involved in a particular challenge, that means both the people, they voluntarily agree before they are born that we will take these respective roles, so that we have to experience this and we learn our lessons. At the same time, we settle the accounts. So everything happens in mutual understanding. So now the debt has been, Sarah's debt has been paid off because the accounts has been settled towards the John's soul. Okay. And also reflection of the ignorance. So we create our own suffering. And if we understand that we create our own suffering, then we are not ignorant anymore. We create our suffering, we create our joy, we create our celebration. Whatever the reality we are in, we create that reality. So if the soul doesn't understand this, then the soul has to choose a particular lifetimes of challenges and poverties and false beliefs. Based on their false beliefs, the soul chooses multiple challenges in that particular lifetime they are planning. Because the more the challenges they face, and the more the soul starts questioning, why me? Why I have to go through this challenge? So when they start questioning, then there is a reflection of their ignorance. Why am I ignorant about this? Why others are happy? Why I'm not happy? So there is a reflection. So the greater the challenge, the greater the reflections. Okay. And that's an example, a person who is born in a poor country, he lived his whole life in poverty. Then the soul understands, oh, the resources in the universe are very limited. But that is a wrong understanding. That is an ignorance. So the soul is in ignorance. But in reality, the truth is abundance. Abundance is there everywhere. So until the soul realizes the concept of abundance, the soul has to go through the same financial challenges. The soul will be born in poor country, or if not, the soul will be born in a rich country, but he will go through a lot of financial difficulties. So that is a reflection about his deeper belief systems. So whatever the belief we have within us, all the wrong beliefs are reflected in our challenges, what we have in our day-to-day life. So again, a case study of low self-esteem. John is ignorant about himself. He doesn't know his real potential. He doesn't know he's a divine being. He doesn't know he is part of God. So he thinks very low about himself. He has very limiting beliefs. So he thinks like, I'm not worthy of receiving unconditional love. I'm useless. I'm powerless. I'm hopeless. I cannot accept myself. So these are all the low self-esteem thoughts John has. So he will manifest that kind of challenges when he is planning the pre-birth session. So now in the current lifetime, because John had those kind of low self-esteem in his past lives, so he will plan a lifetime which reflects his ignorance. So he will be born where he's like born as a gay, where there is no the sexual orientation of being a gay is looked down on the society, and he manifests the AIDS illness, and that's a shameful disease to produce. So because he's having a low self-esteem, so he attracts that kind of situation which reflects that. So what is a possible soul lesson for John is not to be defined by the judgments of others and also the self-judgments, because John has to make an attempt to see what his true nature is. He has to realizing your true nature means you sit in silence, you sit in deep meditation, and you go within to see who you are, what you are. So that is the realization, and that is acceptance of your true self. But if you don't realize from within, and you're just blindly believing what people are saying from outside based on their judgments and based on their criticism, then you are going to end up with low self-esteem, and you will attract that kind of challenges in your life. And coming into the light of truth, as I told you before, the soul wants to, there are two aspects. One aspect is you want to come out of the ignorance, and the second aspect is you want to come into the light. So that's the second aspect. So an example is in the beginning stages, in the beginning incarnations, the soul believes it is okay to kill the animal for food consumption. You know, animals are for the food, so it's okay to kill animals and eat. So the soul will plan the reincarnations. The soul will be born again and again in a meat-eating family, and until the soul learns the lesson, it is not okay to kill another being. It is not okay to consume the food of pain and suffering. So until the soul learns the lesson, the soul takes the incarnations accordingly. So here in this example, the soul is coming towards the light. The soul is experiencing the truth of the highest order. So the soul plans these kind of situations as well. Let us take a case study. A woman, she is born in a middle class family. She was married and she has only a single child of her own, and the child dies at the age of 10. So she experiences the loss of her only child, and it is a great tragedy for the mother. So why did she choose this kind of a lifetime? So we have to go to the past life. So in the past life, the same woman was a wealthy woman in the 9th century in UK, in London. And she was a very wealthy woman, and she has all the resources. And she witnessed a lot of poverty. She witnessed a lot of poor children around her in the streets around her townhouse. Even though she was capable enough, even though she was rich enough to support that poor children, to feed the poor children, she never supports, because she has this understanding that those children are not her children. So it is not her responsibility to take care of the others' children. So even though she has the capacity to help, she chooses not to help. So this is her past life. And because of this past life, she has manifested the present life, where she has to go through this trauma of losing her only child. Now, why this happened? What is the possible lesson? What is the false belief? The false belief she had was, they are not my children, so it is not my responsibility. That is a false belief. And what is the understanding of the truth? All children deserves compassion without any discrimination. Children are children, whether it is your children or others' children. Children are children. So that is the truth. So to learn this truth, she has planned her life in that way. So again, developing specific soul qualities to master your life, to redefine the soul qualities. So a case study. For example, Ronald, he has taken many past lives with high authority. Either he is a king, a ruler, a president, a successful business person. So he's a very successful leader. That is his past lives. So because of his past lives, quality, characters, so he developed a strong leadership, and he has a high moral integrity and conduct, and is very strong, and determination is very high, and he has a lot of self-respect. And these are the qualities, these are masculine qualities: self-respect, strength, determination, integrity, leadership. These are all masculine qualities. Remember, we all have masculine and feminine both within us. So he has mastered the masculine qualities. Now he has to focus to develop the feminine qualities. So now he will choose an incarnation where he will focus on developing the opposite of masculine, which is the feminine qualities. What are the feminine qualities? The feminine qualities are examples like nurturing, emotional vulnerability, creativity, and being sensitive. So these are all the feminine qualities. So he will choose his new incarnation to focus on the feminine qualities. So when he learns those feminine qualities, then there is a balance between the masculine and the feminine. Then he is mastering his own self. So these are all the examples why the soul chooses a particular planning. The soul goes through a particular planning session. And finally, paying off the karmic debt of others. As I told you, only the enlightened ones are in a position to take care to bear the karma of others, there are two conditions to be fulfilled. One, the person has already learned the lesson. That's the condition number one. And the condition number two, most of the debts are already paid off. There's only a little bit, only a 10% left. So after learning the lesson and most of the debts are paid off, then the enlightened one helps in taking off that residue, the rest of the 10% of karmic residue towards himself. So that is the blessing of a guru towards his student, so that the student can progress forward. So this also you can plan. So before you are born, you can plan how much karmic debt you want to take from others. So it is also part of the planning. And free will and pre-birth planning. So do we have to follow our entire pre-birth plan? Not necessary, because we have a free will. Let me give you an example. Free will and pre-birth planning. For example, George has a tendency to allow others to dictate his life. He's not confident and he's not able to stand up for himself. And he has a false belief that he is weak and incapable. And Sally has a tendency, Sally is his partner. Sally has a tendency to dominate others and agrees to incarnate as his wife. So in the pre-birth planning, Sally agrees to be the wife of George so that George can learn how to be confident, how to take a stand for his own life. So Sally has agreed to George so that George can learn. So they both decided, okay, we will come as husband and wife. And after the incarnation, at the age of 25, George takes a new job with an employer, and the employer doesn't treat him with respect. So he stands up for himself because of his own meditation or because of his spiritual understanding. He stands up for himself, and then he says, no, I deserve. He puts his foot down and says, this is not acceptable. You cannot treat me like this. So he has learned that lesson already. So the agreement is to learn that lesson through his future wife, but he already learned the lesson. So what happens? There is no need to meet Sally, or even if he meets, there is no much attraction. They are just simple friends. So because of his free will, he has changed the plan. So even though there is a particular plan, he has the free will to change the plan dynamically. So again, let us go to the question. Free will and pre-birth planning. Do we have to follow the entire pre-birth planning? Not necessary. If you know how to use your free will, you don't need to follow your pre-birth planning. You can plan dynamically while you are here in the physical body. Your plan can change, and you have the free will to change your plan. And karmic agreements. What is karmic agreements and how different it is to karmic debts? Karmic debts are you do something bad to another person and that comes back to you. That bad will come back to you for sure. That is a debt. That is a karmic debt. Karmic agreements are just contracts between two souls before they are born, and it is a non-binding. And they say, okay, we both are going to incarnate and we both are going to help each other. So that is an agreement. So that is a karmic agreement. And what is the difference between a karmic agreement and a karmic debt? The only difference is karmic debts are very emotional. The relationship, if two people are having a karmic debt, it's very emotional relationship. If two people are having a karmic agreement, then even if they separate from the relationship, there is no much emotion. There is only a friendship. Let me give an example. So there are two people. So they agree that we are going to meet at that particular age. And then when we meet, we will start a business together and we will work towards saving the environment and working towards energy saving devices, and we'll start a company. So this is the karmic agreement these both will have. And it is a pre-birth planning. And if the agreement doesn't work out, they will fall apart, but still they will be a good friends. So in all the karmic agreements, whenever the relationship doesn't work, they are happy to split. They're happy to go in their own ways without having any negative emotion towards each other. They will still have good friendship between them. So the intense emotion is missing between them. So that's the difference between the karmic debts and the karmic agreements. And most of the karmic agreements are for developing their own soul quality or to do some service. So karmic agreements happen between the soul family members. They both are of the same frequency. They come together to do something good for others. And in the process of doing good to others, they also learn certain things. So that's a karmic agreement. So we have to understand this karmic agreement because not all relationships are karmic debts. Some relationships are karmic agreements. And again, collective karma. So so far we have discussed about our individual karma. So now, like we have individual karma, we have collective karma. So we have family karma also. For example, in your family, there are 5 members and your family has taken a certain decision. And because of that decision, it has hurt others. It has created suffering to others. So now the entire family is responsible for that. So now that becomes a family karma. So similarly, there is a particular village, and all the villagers and the head of the village, they take a particular decision, and because of that decision, there are other beings. For example, the whole village, they took a decision. Oh, we didn't get much rains for the agriculture, so we need to sacrifice the animals to the nature gods. So once we sacrifice, then the gods will be happy. Then we receive the rains. So this is the wrong understanding they have, and they decided to sacrifice 1,000 animals. So that 1,000 animals have gone through intense suffering because of the collective, because of the wrong understanding of the entire village. So it becomes a collective karma. So that particular village has to go through that karma. So the village goes through famine and droughts, and that particular village goes through a lot of suffering for years and years to come, for hundreds and hundreds of years, because it's a collective karma of that village. Similarly, we have a nation karma. Different nations have different karmas. For example, China has a different karma, America has a different karma, India has a different karma. So the nation has its own karma. Like similarly, the planet Earth has its own karma. So like we have individual karmas, we have collective karmas also. I will give an example for a family karma. So for example, there are 4 children and a mother and a father. So it's the father's responsibility to feed the family. So the father cannot earn money to feed the families, and he goes for theft. He is going to steal. Okay, so he involves in robbery. He involves in stealing. So during that process, he gets caught by the police. So now what happens? Now he goes to the jail, and the entire family suffers. And the entire family goes through the shaming process of the society. The neighbors and the society will shame them. The children, when they go to the school, the friends of the children or the classmates, they all bully them that your father is a thief. So the entire family is suffering because of one person. So that is a family karma. So why these poor children has to suffer because of no mistake? Because the reason is in the past lives. In the past lives, this entire family has done something wrong. Now this entire family has to collectively pay back the debt. So whatever happens for a reason. So this is understanding about the karma and how the reincarnation and karma, they are both are interlinked. Now again, the integration part. What we need to do, how to manage our karma. So before we go to the integration part, I want to stop here and ask for any questions we have discussed so far, and then I go to the next topic. Is it too long?
No, it's perfect, Pradeep.
Yeah. Yes. So now it's the time for questions. So if you have any questions for the discussed so far, I'll be happy to answer it. So let us consolidate what we have learned so far, and then we go into the integration part.
So Pradeep, we have one question coming on the chat. So
Yeah.
Sonia, she wrote something I could not get, but I will read it. I'm sure there are lessons for parents also to learn and our siblings. Do we also help them learn their lessons, or is it just about us? For example, in abusive families, mostly the children have to be removed, or are there tragedies that happen to change the situation? How do we know what to do since not everyone knows about karmic journey and life lessons?
Until so whether they know or don't know how to handle it, they have to go through the challenges and they will suffer. And with more and more suffering, with more and more challenges, eventually they will look for answers. So for your question, yes, the children are going through, the lessons are for the children and also the lessons are for the parents. It's always both the ways, especially in the relationships. In the relationships, whether it's a family relationship or whether it's a husband-wife relationship or relationship with the children or relationship with the parents, it's always both the ways. There are lessons to be learned from both the parties all the time. So that's why I said relationships are very, very interesting. If you want to understand, the relationships are a perfect example to reflect upon. Yes, the answer is yes.
Thank you, Pradeep. So we have another question in the chat. Is divorce also a karmic agreement between two souls?
A divorce is not a karmic agreement. A divorce is a free choice. For example, two people, they agree to come together. See, it's interesting, let me tell you, if there are two souls, there are two individual souls, and if there is too much karma between them, so then the spirit guides gives these two souls a choice. You see, you have too much of karma between you two. So you might take 20 lifetimes to neutralize that particular debt. But there is a way, there is an alternative. The alternative is you are both take the lifetime as a husband wife and you can neutralize all the karma in one lifetime. So that's an alternative. So most of the time, almost 95% of husband-wife relationships or boyfriend-girlfriend relationships are karmic. And that's why, when you see that when a boy sees a girl or a girl sees a boy, there is intense love in the very first meeting. There is love at first sight. So there is intense attraction. So when there is intense attraction and when there is love at first sight, most of the time it is karmic, because they know that they have to be together in that particular lifetime. So that's the reason they feel that intense attraction. And what happens if the karma is neutralized between them? So after they come together, they work on their lessons, and if the karma is neutralized, then they have the choice to continue the relationship as friends, or they have the choice to separate. So they go through a divorce process. That's one possibility. The other possibility is, because this particular couple is going through a lot of hardships, and rather than focusing on themselves, rather than taking responsibility, rather than looking into what are the lessons I need to learn to attract this kind of relationship, they are blaming the other person. They say, oh, because of my wife, oh, because of my husband, I'm suffering. So I don't want this relationship. So I will go through a divorce. So that is a free will. So when they go through the divorce in that way, so what they are doing, they're simply postponing their karmic debt between them. They're postponing to the next lifetime. So the next lifetime, they have to be again born as husband wife until they neutralize their karma. So divorce is a free will.
Thanks, Pradeep. Pradeep, now I see your video clearly. I see your mic is on the collar, and that's creating the scratching sound when you're moving.
Okay, so probably I have to hold it like this.
Yeah, or you can place it not touching the collar, like yesterday was fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is it better now? Can you hear me?
Yes, now it's no more. Okay. So
Okay.
we have another one. Sheetalji asking, how do we know what happened in earlier births?
You do meditation. And the more and more you do meditation, the more you understand why you are going through a particular challenge. It comes to you as a knowing. You don't need to know what you have done in your past life. That is not necessary. But you should really know what you should do in this lifetime, in this given moment. See, the past is past, but what you can do now, that is your free will, that is your choice. So in order to understand what you need to do now, you have to meditate. The more you meditate, the more you raise your frequency, and the more you connect to your soul, the more you will understand the soul lessons. No astral master will come and tell you this is the lesson you need to learn. No, the masters don't interfere in your learning process. But it is with your own awareness, you will be able to understand, yes, this is the lesson I need to learn. That comes from within. It's like it's more of a realization you go through in your meditation journey.
Thanks, Pradeep. So we take a
Thanks,
couple
Rani.
of questions from the audience who had their hand raised, and then we go back onto the chat. Yes,
Yeah.
Pradeep Doshi ji, you can unmute now yourself.
Yes, sir. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have a question that there is something called family karma and there is something called ancestor karma.
That's both are the same. Ancestral karma, family karma are the same.
So sometimes okay, so in ancestor karma, all siblings are not affected equally. Maybe one of the siblings is affected much more because of ancestor karma. Why is it so?
It's all equally proportional to what they have done and what is that they have to pay back.
Okay.
Everything is equally proportional. So
Okay,
the
so
karma.
why does an ancestor reincarnate so that they have a soul contract in this life rather than without incarnation?
They will reincarnate. They have to reincarnate.
Okay.
You see, I'll give you an example. For example, there is a family, and it's a business family, and they have accumulated a lot of wealth through unfair means and unethical means, right? So that is an example. And now all the wealth they have accumulated is through the wrong sources. It's through giving a lot of suffering to others. And the children born in that particular family, they get to enjoy the wealth, right? Because the wealth has been accumulated by the ancestors. So the children in that family, they get to enjoy the wealth. So while they are enjoying the wealth, they also has to face the karma which is associated with that wealth. So that is the ancestral karma. But you have a free will. But it's not compulsory that every child born in that family goes through that process. No, if the child is little aware, the child can choose that this property has earned through unfair means, because the family business still continues. So when the child grows up, the child can clearly see, oh, the business is unfair, so I'm not going to be part of it, and I don't want to be part of this business. So then he doesn't get affected with that karma. Or the other option is he says, okay, let me do something about it. So I'm going to use that resources, what we have accumulated through the wrong means, I'm going to use that resources to help others. So in that way, he's also helping to neutralize. So his actions are also helping his family karma. So the choices are infinite. We have infinite choices, but our choices depends on how much clarity we have about the whole process, how much clarity we have about our evolution. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Pradeep. So we have Pankaj Bhargava. You can unmute yourself now.
Hi, Pradeep.
Hi, Pradeep.
Again, I'm here to bother you with a few queries of mine. Thanks for your patience to listen and reply to them. Actually,
Please bother as much as possible.
thanks for the kind words. The query I had is we were discussing about the pre-birth phenomenon and the stages associated with those. Now, as I understood with my limited knowledge capacities, that pre-birth, the information on this pre-birth, how does it help us at this stage?
At the current, in the right now, in the present moment.
Yeah, because this is something which happens in a soul's lifetime when the soul is not in the current body, right? If I'm understanding
Yeah.
it correct. So gathering this information at this stage, how does it help the soul evolve in the
You
next
don't need
stage?
to gather. The information is already there in your karmic fields. The information is already there in your etheric body. So all your the karmic information is there within you, surrounding you, right? As the karmic structures, the information. So it is like this. The first step is you have to accept whatever the challenges you are going through. The first step is accept that it is you who have planned it, and nobody has imposed anything on you. So you have planned it out of your free will. And with this acceptance, then you have this realization, my soul has planned for it. And if my soul has planned it, then it should be for a reason. So what is that particular reason? So then your focus is on what lessons to learn. What is the particular lesson I need to learn from this challenge? Whether it can be a financial challenge, or whether it can be relationship issues, or whether it can be health issues, it can be anything. So when you sit in meditation, and if you have the pure intent that you want to learn, and you put an intent that I want to understand what is that lesson I need to learn. So you just put an intent and forget about it and sit in meditation. The answers will come to you. The answers will come to you either in your meditation, or the answers will come to you either in your dreams, or the answers will come through you when you're reading a book. Suddenly one particular statement really brightens you up. So that is the answer. Or you hear some discourse, or you hear some workshop, and suddenly you realize, wow, okay, so that is what I need to learn. So where there is a will, there is a way. You see, today is Guru Purnima. Again, the emphasis is on the student. The inner guru is the student, right? So a good student can learn even from a bad teacher, because a good student can learn how not to be a bad teacher from a bad teacher. So that's also a learning. So a good teacher can learn from a bad teacher, and also a good student can learn from a good teacher also, naturally. But a bad student cannot even learn, even from a good teacher, because the student is not ready. So the more and more you accept, the more and more you understand everything happens for a reason, and everything happens for good. And the more and more you do meditation, eventually you learn. Okay.
And second query is regarding the reincarnation process which you have mentioned, which we were discussing. So as this is soul is like an energy which neither gets destroyed nor created.
The
It
soul is
gets
eternal.
created and
It's eternal. The soul is
it,
eternal.
eternal. So is the number of souls in the universe constant at any given point of time?
No, I said
Or
yesterday.
new souls new
Yeah.
souls keep on getting generated, and so
Yeah.
what is there any limit to the exist how many
Infinity.
souls can exist?
That is another spiritual law of infinity. So there is no limit. The whole of the creation, it's infinite. How many good karmas you can do? Infinite. How many bad karmas you can do? Infinite. How many stars are there? Infinite. So this is the law of infinity. So as I told you, there are three ways the souls incarnate. So you can say that in the olden days, there are not many people. Now there are more and more people. So how come there are more people on the planet Earth? So there is a massive volunteers coming from the other dimension. There are a lot of star seeds who have incarnated on the planet Earth to help the planet Earth to raise their vibration. So that's the reason we see more and more people. And once the mission is finished, they go back. So the Earth is not going to increase the population over a period of time. In the other, maybe in other 20 years, the population is going to reduce.
Mhm.
Okay.
And as I read somewhere that people who have an unplanned exit from the earth due to reasons like suicide and all, their soul
Yes.
takes a lot of time to get liberated from the current attachments, detachments from their
Yes.
in their current
Yes.
life, and it requires a a certain level of spiritual master's healing for them to get liberated?
No. Nice. Again, yes, you are right in the aspect that suicide is a failure in the soul evolution. So suicide is the only failure in the soul's evolution. So whatever the soul goes through, the greatest of the greatest hardships, the greatest of the greatest failures is still a success on the soul level. But when a soul commits suicide, that is a great failure for the soul. So the evolution the soul evolution gets stopped with the suicide. And the soul has to learn the lesson of not to commit suicide. So the soul has to go through the same challenge or a greater challenge in the next lifetimes. The soul has to go through the same challenge or even a greater challenge in the next lifetimes until the soul learns to face it and not to commit suicide. So until that lesson, the soul has to continue the incarnations and the reincarnations in that same level. And of course, the spirit guides, they educate us. Once we go to the higher worlds, the spirit guides educate us not to commit suicides and to face the challenges. There is education all the time. So we have a greater education in the higher worlds. But the karma of the suicide hangs on the back. So what happens? The subsequent lifetimes, the soul incarnates, the soul goes through the similar challenges, the greater challenges. Then the thought of suicide always comes back to that person. So this thought of the suicide is the karma of the suicide. So he has to put a greater emphasis. He has to do more meditation. And he has to really make efforts to come out of that karma. It is a much more greater challenge. So suicide is absolutely a no. And if somebody is having the suicidal thoughts, you have to help them by educating them not to commit the suicide and educate them about the soul evolution and educate them all the challenges are there to learn the lessons. The challenge is only on the physical, but on the soul level, there is no challenge. It is a beautiful experience. So we have to educate the people. With that education, they let go of the idea of the suicide. Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Wonderful discussions, Pradeep. Thanks to every participant raising these questions. It's very enlightening. So we have pretty good questions on the table. We go one by one. So
yes, Nancy, do you have a question? I thought I saw you raised your hand.
Nancy,
you can unmute.
Just a moment.
Nancy, she's on the video as well.
Has done you. Yes, Nancy, you should have, yeah.
Yeah, but my question was already raised by the previous.
Okay, it's already answered. Okay, all right.
It was about suicide, so it's answered. Thank you very much, Pradeep.
All right, thank you. So there's one more, Jose.
Yeah.
Jose is also raising a hand.
Hi, good afternoon, Pradeep.
Yeah, hi, Jose again.
Good. I got just quick couple of questions. One kind of leading from yesterday is that for what you explain is that after these 400, 450 lifetimes that we go through and we get enlightened, and that from the enlightenment we bring a speck back to life again, so we continue going the circle. Is that speck of this enlightened soul brings any karma with it?
See, once you finish the life cycle, then there is no compulsion for you to come back to the earth, but you will come, because once you become a master, then your being longs to help the fellow beings on the planet earth. So you come back to earth as a choice, you incarnate as a choice, and you come as a teacher to help the humans, to help the animals, to help the environment. You come back to help the whole system. So that is not karmic. That is out of free will, free choice. And so once they have finished helping in few cycles, then they go to the higher dimensions. Then they become co-creators. So then, they become part of the creation. So this is the cycle. The first stage is you incarnate as as a spec, as a soul, then you learn certain lessons, then master yourself. After you mastered yourself, you have to reincarnate, not by compulsion, but by choice. You reincarnate as a master, and you reincarnate many lifetimes as a master teacher to support and to help. And after you have finished that cycle, then you become a co-creator. Then you have the capacity to place your own spec as your baby in the human form.
And that baby won't come to this lifetime to.
That baby will be a human. The baby will be a human again. The journey continues. Yes.
But it will have that baby any karmic lessons to learn?
No, it's pure.
It's
so
pure.
whether you are graduated from an animal to a human, or whether you have come as a speck from the over self, you both are the same.
Yes.
They both are the same.
And the other quick question is, are you creating karmic depth of actions that you're not aware of?
Yes. Whether you are aware or not doesn't matter. The accounts keep updating.
So when I was a child and I was get fed by animal products, I was creating bad karma for myself.
Yes, I understand. So the karma is still there, but because you are not aware, the intensity is less. Understand? Okay. So we do many actions unconsciously, unknowingly, unaware. Had we been aware, we wouldn't have never done it. But we have done it because we are unconscious. So still the karma is there, but the intensity of the karma is lesser. But if you do any action knowing that is bad, then the intensity of the karma is very, 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 very high.
Yeah.
So the intensity changes.
And the lesser the intensity, the easier to balance it.
Whether it is a high intensity or low intensity, you still have to balance it. But if it is high intense, so that means you have to learn the lesson to obey your own learning process, to respect your own evolution. So knowing something is bad and still doing it is a very intense bad karma.
Understood. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Jose.
Yeah, we have Gayatri Radhakrishnan. Yeah, you can unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yes.
Happy Guru Purnima, all of you.
Yes.
And my question is, in raw material, a baby is suffering from some ailment and it cannot be cured. Ultimately, when they go for the PLR, they came to know that the grandmother's karma has been carried to this generation child. Is it possible?
It's possible, provided that particular baby has karmic links with her grandmother in the past life.
And one more question is, the family karma carries for 7 generations. Is it true?
It's not true. It carries until you learn the lessons. Whether it is 2 generations or 7 generations or 100 generations, it doesn't matter.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So,
okay, so we have some questions on the chat. Shall we take them?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have Shan asking, what about doctors? They're suppose the healer for diseases. What are karmic lessons to them?
See, it is a known fact, doctors can't heal. Even doctors themselves say the doctors only treat. The healing depends on the individual karma. The doctors have the capacity only to treat. So how the treatment works depends on the individual karma. Okay.
From Priyatana. So once if we realize our negative karmas done in this birth, can we negate them in this birth and can be free of this, not to carry it onto our next birth?
Yes, it is possible. Doing more service. So when you do more service, it negates. See, the first is you have to learn the lesson. Having realized that you have done something bad, so the thing is you have to learn the lesson that yes, I have done something bad and I'm not going to do it again, right? So that is the first part. And the second part, since you have already learned the lesson, so you have to, still there is residue. What for all the actions, the suffering is already happened to another person. So you have to start doing more and more service, start doing more good karma. So the more you do good karma, the more you are balancing off in this lifetime. Whatever you can do is only in this lifetime. So what you can do in this lifetime affects your karma. And then I'll tell you something interesting. Suppose, we discussed that the prarabdha, right? So we bring a portion of the karma from the sanchita, which is our prarabdha. The prarabdha is our current lifetime. We have chosen a particular amount of karma. And we have planned, for example, to finish off those karma in, say, in 60 years' time. And at an early age, the person has come into the path of meditation. Because the person has come into the path of meditation, the person becomes a vegetarian and the person quickly learns all the lessons and he finishes off all the bad karma. So what he has planned for 60 years, he has finished off in 10 years, for example. So the soul has the free will to bring the karma from the sanchita, from the reservoir. So he can bring more karma from the reservoir and try to balance it the rest of the time. So the more you do meditation, the more you understand, the more quickly you learn the lessons, the more you neutralize the karma, not only what you have planned for this current life, but you are going to help yourself for the future lifetimes by neutralizing from the sanchita karma. So we all have that free will to do that.
Nice, Pradeep. So we have another question related to relationships. What are soulmates and twin flames?
Okay. Soulmates are, they are like, from the same soul family, right? Like we have a physical family here. Similarly, we have a soul family. How the soul family takes shape is the souls from the similar frequencies, they all gather together as one family because they have the similar learning, they have the similar vibration. So they all come together. So that's called a soul family. And the soulmate is nothing but a person who is like your schoolmate, who is like your classmate, who decides to come together to have a playful relationship. There is more of play in the relationship. So when the relationship is more playful, more happy, so that is a soulmate relationship. And in the soulmate relationship, there is no much karma. There is no much learning. In the other words, there is no much learning in that relationship. It's more of a play, right? So it's more of happy journey. So that's the soulmate relationship. So the soulmate relationship will be very happy, but there is no much learning in that relationship. On the other hand, a twin flame is an aspect of you. It's another aspect of your soul. When you are incarnated, like when we are in the higher dimensions, you are androgynous, like you are both masculine and feminine together. But when you are incarnating on the physical, then there is male body and there is female body. So the other portion of your whole is called your twin flame. In the first incarnation, you will be born as male and female, but these two individuals will have their own karma, based on the activities they do, based on the lifetimes they take. So they attract more karmas with all the other people. So because there is a lot of karmic things associated with other people, so then they start going apart again and again. They start going apart. The more the incarnations they take, they go far away, because they have to balance their own karmic things with they have to settle their own karmic accounts with the other people before they can come back. So towards the end of the lifetime, the soul has a deep urge to become the whole again, to be part of the whole again. So then because of this deep urge, then again these two people, they come together. They are called twin flames. And the twin flame relationships, most of the people, they have this misunderstanding. Twin flame is a happy relationship. No, twin flame is not a happy relationship. Twin flame is one of the most challenging relationships because they mirror reflect each other, and it is too much intensity between them. And majority of the twin flame relationships, they cannot sustain. When they meet, there is a lot of soul connection, and there is a lot of understanding, knowing. They know that they are one energy, but very soon they realize they cannot live under the same roof because there's so much of reflection and there's so much of learning. These twin flames, they throw at each other. There's so much learning they throw at each other, so they cannot sustain the relationship, most of them, and they carry on in their own ways until they learn their own lessons individually. But if this twin flame relationship, if both are meditators in that relationship, if both are meditators, they both accept that it is their lesson and they both take responsibility, then there is a possibility the twin flame relationship sustains. And when this twin flame relationship sustains, then they start doing more good to the society. So because of these couples, a lot of good karma happens to the greater planet Earth. So that's the difference between, it's a huge subject, twin flames and soulmates. It's a huge subject. But to understand, it is very important. Every relationship is karmic. Every relationship is karmic. Whether you have good karma or bad karma determines what kind of relationship you have. If you have more good karma, then you will be taking an incarnation as a soulmate, where there is relationship is so nice, happy, no much challenges. So the relationship is cool, smooth. But if you have to learn a lot of lessons, then you won't have that kind of relationship. So some people think having a soulmate is a blessing. No, it is not a blessing. Having a soulmate relationship is not a blessing. It is just that you have taken so many lifetimes and there are so many challenges you have gone through in your past lives. You just need a break. Even in our physical life, we do a work, we do intense work, we work hard. So we work hard for the whole month. We want a break. So we go for a picnic. We go for a holiday. So similarly, the soulmate relationship is a holiday for them in this particular lifetime. So that is a soulmate relationship. So the twin flame relationship, they come together for spiritual service.
Nice, Pradeep. So we have next question about suicide and accident. Suicide part was addressed. Now in this question, it says, accidents are also part of karmic balance for
accidents are also pre-birth planning. It's also karmic.
So is there any lesson for the one who left and also the loved ones who remain?
Yes, both.
Yeah,
both.
Then we have, if we commit suicide in our past lives and we are experiencing the same bad karma in this present life, what we have to do in the present life to balance that karma happily?
First, we have to understand that there should be no suicide at all. So even though, as I told you, if you had committed suicide in your past life, so that karma hangs on back of you. So you will be tempted to commit suicide again and again. You will have suicidal thoughts. If you are having suicidal thoughts and if you are tempted to commit suicide, that means there is a suicide karma from your past life. So when you're having this temptation, when you're having these thoughts of the suicide, you have to understand that this is the karma of the suicide coming from the past lives. So you have to educate yourself that no matter whatever the challenge I face in this lifetime, I will face it, but I will never commit suicide. So once you make that determination, then you are out of that karma. So after you make that determination, then you are willing to face the lessons. The more you face the challenges, the more you face the challenges, the more your karmas are reduced. The more you face the challenges, the more your karmas are reduced. That is the equation. The more you face it, the more you learn it. The more you learn it, the more it disappears.
Yeah, nice. So Pradeep, the next question from Pradeep Doshi, do our guardian angels or other angels know of our soul plan, like our spirit guide?
Yes,
and
yes.
who is easier to contact, guardian angel or spirit guide?
These classifications are all from the mind, you see. Guardian angel, spirit guides, archangel, Metatron, Tetatron. These are all from the mind. You see, the angelic kingdom, there's a parallel reality. So the angelic kingdom, they come and assist you in terms of emergency. The angelic, just because you chant angel's name, they won't come. So the angels come on their own choice, because it is their evolution to assist the human evolution. And they come and assist the humans only in case of emergencies. Only in case of emergencies, and you have a lot of good karma in your account, then the angelic world will come and support you in terms of emergency. For example, you are going to go through an accident, and suddenly in a flick of a moment, you notice that there is a divine power which has rescued you. So that's most likely an angel coming and doing it. Why it happened to you, and why the other people are going through the accidents? Because you have a good karma. You have a lot of good karma in your account, and you become eligible for that. Okay, so that is the angelic part. So the angelic kingdom, they come and rescue you only in terms of emergencies, provided you have good karma in your account. And our spirit guides and astral masters, you can call them as the masters from the other dimension, the higher dimensions. We all have our spirit guides, and they are constantly guiding us. They are constantly communicating to us. They are constantly speaking to us. But we have shut down. We are not willing to listen. Because we are not willing to listen, it doesn't mean they are not there. They are all there, and they are all there 24/7. They are supporting us. They are reminding us of our soul plan. So how to connect to them? As I told before, raise your frequency. The more you do meditation, the more you raise your awareness from the physical to the mind, and from the mind to the soul level. So when you raise your frequency, when you raise your awareness to the soul level, then you are in contact with them. Okay. So it's through meditation you contact your spirit guides. And yes, spirit guides are there for everybody, and everybody gets assistance from the spirit guides. Sometimes we get intuition. The more you do meditation, the more you have intuition. Suddenly you feel something. You, out of the box, you have a thought. You don't know where the thought came from, and there is absolutely no logic to it, but you suddenly got a guidance. So that is your intuition. And again, that is a guidance from your higher masters.
Okay. Nice, Pradeep. So we have next question from Harman. How I would want to know the relation between karma and black magic.
Black magic is your bad karma.
Nice. So the next question is, I have a question about gay and lesbian population who identify themselves with the gender that they were not born in. Many struggle through this identity. What is the life lesson? Can you please explain?
It is also planned. It is also pre-planned for a particular lesson. There might be 1,001 lessons to learn. So I cannot say what is the lesson to learn. I can probably say the probable lessons, but the real lesson to learn has to be discovered by the individual. So in most of the time, the people who are born in a challenging atmospheres, like being born as a gay or a lesbian, so most of the time the lesson is self-love and self-acceptance.
Nice. So next question is the current pandemic related to a specific individual karma or a collective sanchita karma?
The COVID-19 is the karma of the planet Earth. It's a collective karma.
Nice. We have another question related to healing aspect.
The COVID-19 is the collective karma, but how that pandemic affects you is your individual karma.
That's wonderful. Yeah. So we have another question related to healing. Did the healer interfere with the karma so they get infected by the person they are healing, or did the healer himself is part of the karma?
The healer is not part of the karma, but because of the interference, the healer becomes part of the karma.
Okay, so there is one question here, Shankar. When a person gets enlightened, there is no more karma. But is it true that karma of the enlightened person's ancestors are also deleted?
No, no way possible. I cannot help in any way my mother's karma or my father's karma. They have to work on their own karma.
Wonderful. So we have Suhasini ji. Does doing affirmations to attract what you want change the karma?
Affirmations are wishful, positive thinking. Okay. If you are having so much negative karma in your baggage, just because you get up in the morning and speak positively, nothing is going to change. But yes, it is a wishful thinking. It helps. These affirmations helps, but only to a small extent. The affirmations helps you to be positive. So it helps you to be positive only on a superficial level, but deep down within your karmic information structures, you have negativity. So it doesn't really help neutralize your karma, but affirmations can help to give confidence to face your challenges. So affirmations can help you to face your challenges, but it doesn't help in the karma way. It doesn't help directly, but it helps indirectly to a certain extent.
Good. So the next question.
Rather than affirmations, the first priority should be meditation. For a person who is doing meditation, he doesn't need affirmations. For a person who is doing meditation, he doesn't need affirmations because he is in that high vibration. He is in the high vibration of connecting to his own soul. So the more he is connecting to the soul, the more he knows what to do, what not to do. So he doesn't need affirmations. So affirmations are more on a superficial level, which might support temporarily, but that is not the solution and that is not the answer.
Very super. So we have next question. Do crystals really help in our development?
Yes, they help. The crystals, again, they are like tools. When you're using a crystal, you have to be cautious. You have to be very careful, because if you're having negative thoughts and you're using a crystal, the crystals amplify the negative energy. So the very property of a crystal is the crystals amplify the energy. Whatever the energy the crystal receives, the crystals amplify, and then the crystals radiate. So that is the very nature of a crystal. So a crystal in the hands of a negative person radiates more negativity towards that person. So a crystal in the hands of a positive person creates more positivity. And that's why we have to use crystals only for meditation. So when you're sitting in meditation, you can use crystals. You can use crystal chains, or you can place a crystal in front of you, or you can hold the crystal, and then you can do meditation. So when you are meditating, then what is happening? You are surrendering to your higher self. In meditation, you forget about everything. You are with your breath and you surrender to your breath. So when you are surrendering to your breath, you are surrendering to your higher self. So that is the meditation. So during this process, the crystals radiate more cosmic energy. They radiate more positive energy. And because of this cosmic energy, it helps you to go deep into meditation. So crystals help in meditation journey, and also crystals help in healing process. For example, there is a certain karma and you have learned the lesson. So the crystals can help in healing the residue of the karma. So only to a certain extent, only to a small extent. Like as I said, how the enlightened master can help 10%. Similarly, the crystals can help 10%, provided you learn the lesson. The crystals are enlightened beings among the mineral kingdom. So the crystals can help you to help in your karma, provided you learn the lesson and you have also repaid most of the karma you already repaid. So the crystals can support you to finish off the repayment process quickly. So that's how the crystals help.
Very good. Thanks, Pradeep. So we have next question from Mr. Bamare Pune. Dear sir, if we have many great masters like you on this planet, can we be optimistic that our planet becomes full of divine souls only in human forms? Can this planet become like heaven on earth? And should we teach karma science to all in schools for betterment of humanity?
Yes, that is the collective goal of all the enlightened masters. So the earth has reached a critical number of enlightened people. Right now on the planet earth, there is a critical number of enlightened people. Because of their presence and because of the collective effort of all the enlightened, millions and millions of enlightened masters, so the earth has shifted its consciousness, and now going forward, it's only the golden age. So now we are in the transition time. From now till 2033, for the next 13 years, it is the transition time. So for the next 13 years, it is an opportunity for all the souls to choose the path of the light. So the more they choose the path of the light, the more the earth becomes heaven. But we have crossed that critical limit. So now it is in our hands. We all have the responsibility to contribute to make sure the earth is a heaven. So how do we contribute? By stopping all the violence. So once all the violence towards all living beings is stopped on the planet Earth, that day the earth is a living heaven.
Well said.
And yes, it has to be taught in all the schools. This spiritual science is a mother science, and this spiritual science has to be taught in all the schools. And there will be a time in the future where there will be subject in the history textbooks. The future generations will read in their history textbooks that once upon a time the humans were killing animals and eating them.
Okay, good. So Pradeep, next question is from Priyanka. How important is energy exchange? Does energy exchange giving through healing mean we are taking clients' karma?
Yes. So we should not do any healing, but you can support, you can do counseling, you can do therapy, you can do counseling to support the self-healing process, but you should not directly interfere energetically.
Very good. So we have next one, Sonia. How much does the last rites done after death by the son help the soul? Is
0.
that part of the son or family karmic debt?
That is they're doing out of ignorance. 0 effect.
Very good. So now we take a couple of questions directly by audio. Manikanta Sai, you can unmute yourself.
Ramesh, before we go for further questions, I would, just please keep them on hold. I would like to do the integration part first and then come to the final set of questions as well.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, so let me share the screen. So now let us do the integration part. So now the question is, friends, I say, okay, now I understand karma and now I know all about it. Now what to do? How do I manage it? So the first step is accept responsibility. Know that you are suffering because you have caused suffering. That is acceptance. And accept full responsibility for all the negative situations. Whatever the negative situations you are in, accept it. And forgive yourself and forgive others who have hurt you. Now, how does this forgiveness comes? The forgiveness comes with the understanding the other person has done something with his own limited knowledge, with his own limited understanding about life. He has done certain things. So I forgive him because he is a victim of himself. So this leads to compassion. So the more you forgive, the more the compassion comes in. The forgiveness should be based on the understanding the other person has done his best. Whatever the other person has done, he has done his best according to his soul evolution. So with that understanding, the forgiveness comes very naturally. And if you can't forgive, it is too much stress, it is too much emotion, and you cannot forgive, at least forget it. If you can't forgive, at least forget it. If you forget it, at least you are breaking the chains of the karma. And the second is non-judgmental acceptance. You have to practice more and more non-judgmental acceptance. What is non-judgmental acceptance? Witnessing everything in life without responding negatively no blame game, no victimization, right? And these are the qualities which leads to non-judgmental acceptance. Examples: Mahatma Gandhi. During the freedom struggle, he was beaten by the British several times. But he never, even though he himself being a lawyer, he refused to prosecute his attackers. He refused. He simply said they were doing what they feel was right. So they have the right to do what they feel, and I have the right to do what I feel. So he just accepted. He just accepted the very process of he getting beaten by the people, by the colonial people. He just accepted the process without judgment. He simply accepted. So that is non-judgmental acceptance. And another great example of Jesus Christ. I gave this example yesterday. So Jesus Christ never judged. Even the people who are putting him in cross, they never judged. He never judged them. He simply asked forgiveness who tortured him. So that is again a non-judgmental acceptance. And meditation and karma. How does the meditation and karma, they are related? As I have explained before, the more you do meditation, the more your awareness increases. The more your awareness increases, the more you can able to see crystal clear what is right and what is wrong. And along with awareness, when you do meditation, you receive cosmic energy. So meditation gives you two things: one, awareness, and number two, cosmic energy. So the more and more cosmic energy you receive, the more and more, because the karma is stored in the etheric body and the cosmic energy flows through the etheric body. So the more and more you do meditation, the more and more the residue of the karma within your etheric system gets burnt off. So that's why the rishis and the enlightened masters, they say, when you do meditation, it burns off your karma. How it burns? Because it raises the awareness. The more it raises the awareness, the more you will learn the lessons. And more you receive the cosmic energy, the more the residue gets burnt off. So this is how meditation and karma is interrelated. And the more you do meditation, the more you realize your own soul potential. Along with knowing what is right and what is wrong, you have a better understanding of your own self, and your true potential comes into fulfillment. And how vegetarianism and karma is interrelated, we have spoken yesterday. So the more you take a plant-based food, the more you are stopping yourself from more bad karma, and more you stop yourself to receive more suffering. So that's how the plant-based food and the karma is interrelated. And karma and enlightenment. So once you get enlightened, what is enlightenment? Enlightenment means you are no more in darkness, you are in light. Enlightenment means you are in light. So when you are in light, there is no darkness. So you understand perfectly well what is the bigger picture. So that is enlightenment. So enlightenment causes you, your personal aura, to vibrate at a very high frequency. And when you are vibrating in a very high frequency, then you perfectly know the rules of karma. You are aligned with the divine. You are aligned with the truth. So that is the relationship between karma and enlightenment. Unless you are enlightened, you cannot come out of the karmic loop. You cannot come out of the karmic chain. And after you get enlightened, there is no more amnesia. There is no more. You fully remember. You know that what is the bigger plan. What is the bigger plan? Why you have incarnated, and what is your purpose of life, and where will you go after death, and what is your further journey. You will understand everything. There is no amnesia. So there is no karmic amnesia. There is a full awareness of the self, and you will identify to your higher self. You will no more identify to your limited physical body or the mind. You will identify to your higher self. And when you are identified to the higher self, and when your actions are in alignment with your higher self, then there is freedom, then there is liberation. This is called moksha or mukti. Okay. And the other part, astrology. How karma and astrology, they are interrelated. You see, astrology is a science. Astrology is a science, and astrology works like we all choose a particular time of incarnation, a particular place of incarnation. So depending on that particular time and the place and the date, our astrological chart gets developed. Yes, astrology plays a role according to your karma. So according to your karma, your astrology starts manifesting. Now, the astrological science, astrology works for everybody except enlightened people. Everybody is under the influence of astrology except enlightened people, because the enlightened people, they consciously create reality based on their heightened awareness. So the astrology fails. So astrology has this exception. You ask any astrologer, they can say this: the astrological sign has the astrological signs, they have this exception. Astrology works for everybody, but not for a meditator. Once you start meditating, then you take charge of your life. Once you start meditating, you start taking charge of your life. And the more you start taking charge of your life, the more you start taking responsibility, the more you start doing the things consciously, then you are dynamic. You are using your free will. You know how to use your free will. And once you know how to use the free will, the astrology doesn't work anymore. So that's how the astrology and karma works. Once we raise our consciousness beyond our karma, then astrology fails. So that is the point. And karma yoga. So what is karma yoga? Yoga is union, right? So union, you are in union with your higher self. So karma yoga means, karma means action. So you are doing action selflessly. You are performing action selflessly. And in that selfless action, what is a selfless action? Selfless action means you are not expecting anything in return. You are not expecting name. You are not expecting fame. You are not expecting recognition. You are not expecting anything in return. You are simply doing that act for your own joy. So when you are doing something for your own joy without expecting anything, that is a selfless action. So the more you do selfless action, the more you help yourself to come out of all your karmic chains, and then that is liberation. So karma yoga helps you to liberate yourself. And these are some of the recommended reading if you want to understand more depth of karma with more clarity. So these are the suggested reading. You can take a screenshot of it. And so these are the books recommended. And it is important you go through all these books. And the more you read these books, the more you will understand the depth of it. Okay, friends. So now with this, we can successfully integrate furthermore by taking questions.
Thanks, Pradeep. So we have Manikanta Sai. You can unmute yourself now.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, Manikanta Sai.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My question was very simple. I just want to ask you, for example, if you're a meditator, I'm doing meditation every day. Do I need to know about my past karmas and everything if I'm living in the present moment? If I'm not able to, no need the past or no need to think about the future, living the present moment, as Buddha said or Krishna said, Jesus said. So I just want to know what is the need to know about the past karma. If I'm as a student, I'm studying, I have to focus on the study. If I'm working on a company, I have to focus on my job. So why I need to focus on the past karmas, what are happening in the past or something? Can I do that? I mean, is that mandatory that I have to know the past?
Your focus is not on the past. Your focus is on the present. To understand,
Yes.
see, you need to know that your present situation is because of your past karma. If you have that much understanding, that is enough. So all you need to know is to understand whatever the situation you are in right now, whether you are in a happy situation or whether you are not in a happy situation, whether you are in a great blessing or whether you are going through illness, whatever it is from your past karmic baggage. If you understand that much, that is enough. You don't need to go dig into the past. But your focus should be on the present. What should you do in this moment? What actions you should be focusing on in this moment? And that is going to help you. So all it is going to help you is to understand and accept and focus on the present moment.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Next.
We have one question. We have one question from the chat. What about life coaches? Do they come also under the category of healers?
My assumption is the life coach is somebody who is educating you regarding meditation and spiritual science. So they are assisting you, supporting you. If that is the case, they are teaching you meditation, they are teaching you spiritual science, then they are having good karma because they are empowering you. So it's a good karma for them. As long as the person directly doesn't interfere in the healing process, it is absolutely fine.
Wonderful. So, Sudhakar Raoji, now you can unmute yourself.
Hi, sir. Hi, Pradeep, sir. Hi.
Yeah. Hello. Yes.
My question is that whenever I do meditation or when I did 2-3 times inner child work, so inner child work. I don't even see a single thing from the past life or something. I only remember my childhood things, and that's the only that.
So what's your question?
Why am not? Do I have a past things, or why I'm not getting that? Do I need to do something else?
Do more meditation, sir. That's all. Do more meditation. Only that alone helps.
Okay.
You see, for example, if you go to a therapist, okay, you go to a therapist and you go through inner child or past life regression, you understand, oh, okay, you see a particular scene from your past life, that gives you an understanding why the current situation you are facing the current challenge. That gives an understanding, but that doesn't heal, that doesn't solve the problem. So your inner child and past life regression is just a tool to understand so that you can focus on the present moment by doing more meditation. If you are going through past life regression therapy and if you are not doing meditation, nothing is going to change your life and you will continue suffering. So the only solution is meditation.
Okay, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thanks.
So, Pradeep, we have questions on the chat. Do abortions or having no children for a long period is also about karma?
Abortion is a free will. Having no children is again pre-birth planning based on your karma. You see, abortion means the parents decide to not to have children anymore. So even though the child and the parents, they agree that they will choose each other in the pre-birth planning, but after you come to the earth, remember the free choice overrules. Yesterday I explained, destiny is there, but our free will overrules the destiny. So we all have free will. So suppose the parents, they have chosen that they are not ready to be parents. So it is better to go for abortion because they are not ready and they don't want to have more bad karma by welcoming a child when they are not ready. So the parents consciously choose to go for an abortion. So that is a free choice of the parents. Then there is no bad karma. That is a choice. Similarly, the soul, who comes into the mother's womb, the soul agrees to be born to that particular parents, and for some reason, the soul chooses, no, I'm not ready to come now. So that is a miscarriage. So that is the free choice of the incoming soul. So the miscarriage is the free choice of the incoming soul. Abortion is the free choice of the parents. But in most of the times, these free miscarriages, most of the time, the miscarriages are also planned in the pre-birth planning.
Thanks, Pradeep. So we have a couple of questions related to meditation. So if we are meditating, but we do not have any specific awareness on a particular subject regarding karma, will still it clear our karma? This is one question. The second question is, during meditation, what type of crystals we should keep beside us? I have no idea about it.
Okay. So whether you understand about karma or not, doing meditation definitely helps. You see, when you understand the karma, then you are empowered to use it. You know, it's a law. Karma is a law. The more you understand it, the more you are helping yourself how not to do bad karma and how to do good karma and how to plan your beautiful future. So when you understand this karmic science, it helps you, it saves you to in doing further more bad karmas. So I would say, along with doing meditation, understanding the spiritual science is very important to progress in your meditation journey. Yes, but when you do meditation, the energy you receive in meditation does help you. But if you want greater help, you have to understand the spiritual science.
Very good. So another question about meditation. Can we heal our physical body with meditation?
Okay, there is another part of the question, right? So what kind of crystals to use? So pure quartz crystals are called universal crystals. So for meditation, pure quartz crystals really help. It is not necessary, but if you have the crystals, you can utilize it. But you don't need to run behind the crystals. You let the crystals come to you. So you can ask the crystals to be received, and you can also receive it through your friend or through unknown sources. You will receive crystals if you have this pure intent that you need to work on the crystals, not for you, but for the greater good of the whole. So then the crystals will come to you.
Very good. So regarding karma, the next question is speaking about kids and having a family. Human fertility clinics is okay for us? Is it okay to have children through such clinics?
Well, again, it is the free will of the parents, right? So the parents, they want it. And so even though there are fertility clinics, not 100% cases are successful. Again, it is karmic, right? So if there is a particular karma that they should not have children, then the fertility clinics cannot do much. But if the parents, they learn the lessons and they're ready for the children, then with their free will and with their voluntary desire, it is possible. Now the clinical doctors should be aware of the karmic consequences, and they should not promote it as a business. And if they promote it as a service to help the parents to experience that particular experience of having a child, just with the pure intention, with the pure heart, their intention of starting that clinic is only to support, then they don't have a negative karma. But if their intention is to make money out of it, then definitely there is a negative karma.
So related to this question, Pradeep, then what about vaccines and vaccinations? Does it also intervene in the karmic cycle?
See, as I said, self-healing is the best healing. And you can take vaccines. It is all your free choice, you know. The vaccines help you physically, but after you take the vaccine, you might manifest another illness. As I told you, in a case study, you know, the healer, the one patient is having the eyesight problem. The healer heals the eyesight. He gets the eyesight back, but he loses the education. His intelligence drops. He cannot enroll to the university. So one thing we have to understand is our karma is a unified system. It is not not separate. It is unified. Our karmic structures are unified. So you try to work on one area, the other area gets affected. So you have to understand that the karma is a unified system. And the more you are willing to learn the lessons and the more you are willing to work on your soul evolution, the more you are helping yourself. Just getting the vaccinations and not working on your lessons may help you only physically, but it doesn't help you from suffering. You might have another area where you are suffering. Still the suffering continues. So you have to take a holistic approach, understanding it is a unified system. So the goal of this workshop is to liberate yourself, to understand the whole process of karma, and to work holistically and to help yourself come out of the suffering permanently, not postponement. Yeah, if you take a vaccination, yes, that helps you physically, but your karma is postponed to a next lifetime.
Okay, good. So we have one more question, Monica. My question is that if we donate eyes after death, will it be taking the karma from that person?
Yes, donation of organs is highly karmic entanglement. It's a very, very high karmic entanglement. The donor and the receiver, they both get into a very severe karmic entanglement. So according to the spiritual science, everybody has to heal themselves, and there should be no organ donations, because the karma is stored in the etheric body. Each organ within our body has a karmic overlap. So when you are giving an organ, so you are passing on your karma to the other person. So by passing on the karma, you are also receiving the karma. So both the people, the receiver and the donor, they both get into a karmic entanglement.
Okay, so it's a another question here. Is killing of termites, cockroaches, or mosquitoes give us bad karma if they're spoiling the furniture or biting me?
I leave it to your better intelligence. The law of karma is, if your actions are hurting others, what you give comes back to you. But there is an exception. If somebody is attacking you, you can attack them back. So that is an exception. So if a mosquito is sucking your blood, so you have the free choice what to do with the mosquito, because the mosquito is attacking you. So now you got the answer.
So Pradeep, thank you. And there is one question related to hearing all this topic of karma, concern about the next life. How shall we prepare ourselves for the next life? Is it by doing more good, or is it by reducing bad good enough?
Reducing the bad doesn't help you much, but doing more, as I told you, karma means if you don't want bad, then you don't do bad. But if you want good, then you have to do good. If you want friendship, then you have to be a good friend. If you want love, then you have to be loving. So how to plan for the future is do as many good karmas as possible and do as much meditation as possible. Then your future is taken care.
Very good. So there is a question about addictions. Is it somehow related to the karma, and
yes,
how to overcome?
Addictions are related to karma. More meditation, more awareness, naturally you come out of the addictions.
Okay, and there is one regular question is about donating blood, similar to donating organs. Is it also has a karmic karma effect?
Yes, similar.
So what is good karma? Is it service and meditation only?
Anything you do which helps others is a good karma. It can be meditation, it can be service, it can be anything, any action you do which helps others is a good karma.
So we have questions now coming up from karma into meditation. So how much meditation is needed to get in order to get the guidance for higher powers? Is it time-based or quality-based?
It's karmic-based. More karmic depth you have to do more meditation. Less karmic depth, less meditation will help you. So if you want to connect to your astral masters, and if you want to connect to your spirit guides, and you want to see the purpose of your life, how much meditation depends on your karmic depth. So some people, they don't have much karmic depth. So they do meditation for 1 week, the third eye opens and they understand their life purpose. But some people, they meditate for 10 years, but still they're having physical problems. Why? Because still the energy you receive in meditation is not balancing the karmic depth. So until the balance happens, you have to meditate. So how do we know till when to do meditation? Until the healing happens, until the self-healing happens, until you understand the purpose of life. Until then, you continue meditation. Don't stop.
Wonderful, Pradeep. We have... Okay, I think we have addressed almost all the questions. Okay, so one last one, Madhu. If someone planning against you continuously at workplace, what should be our take?
It is their bad karma. You don't focus your energy there. You focus on yourself. You focus on being positive. You focus on radiating positive thoughts, positive feelings. Your own positive thoughts, your own positive feelings, your own positive words will bring positivity. Don't focus your energy towards negativity. Focus towards positivity.
Okay, Pradeep, I think with this we have pretty much
completed the chat.
About everything. Okay. There is one last question. What is self-healing? Please elaborate.
Self-healing is nothing but whatever the illness, whether it is physical, emotional, psychological, whatever the illness you have, that illness gets naturally healed because of your own meditation and because of your own good karma, because of your own service. It heals naturally on its own. That is self-healing.
So Pradeep, we have finished all the questions here.
Okay. All right. So friends, anybody live wants to raise a hand and ask the question, because this will be the last round, and after this we are in the conclusion process. So after this we will focus on meditation. So any final questions? If not, we'll go for a meditation.
Yes, we have Sudhakar Rao. Yes, you can unmute yourself now.
Hi Pradeep sir. Actually, I should have asked this question in my previous question itself. But do we need to put our serious intention in the meditation to know the past life?
You see, don't put the intention to know. Why you want to know your past life?
No, people are telling that do we have past?
Forget about what people are telling you. I am asking you a question. Why you want to know your past life?
I don't need it. That's why I did it. I don't need it. And
if you don't need to put any intentions to know any of your past lives. See, you have to ask the right questions. What is the right question? So the right question is to ask, okay, I need some clarity of what lesson to learn. So that is the right question.
Okay.
What should I do? That is the right question. So you can put the intent for the right questions. Knowing your past life, nothing is going to change because past is past.
Okay.
But in your meditation, the moments of your past life will come naturally to you. When it will come, when you want to learn a certain aspect in the current life, when you want to understand why you are going through this challenge in the current life, sometimes you see a vision which is related to the past life. And you see that vision not because you have asked for it or not because you wanted it. It is because it is necessary for you to see that so that you can understand what to do in the present life. It comes naturally, it comes automatically. So let the divine help you in its own divine timing. You don't ask for it. If you ask for it, then you are going into the mind game. Then you are going into the illusionary games.
Yes, so I only enjoy the meditation, happiness in the meditation. I never focus on
that is the right approach, and that helps you. So have the intent to be happy in life. Have the intent to have some clarity in life, to how to solve the problems and how to take the right step in the life. So you can ask these questions that you can ask the spirit guides. Please guide me to take the right step. I don't want to do anything wrong. Please help me to do the right things. Give me the understanding to do the right things. You can have this intent before meditation and forget about it and sit in meditation. And that will come to you in its own divine timing when you are ready. Don't expect the answer in the meditation, but that will come to you when you are ready to receive.
Sure. Thank you so much, Pradeep sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pradeep, we have a question from the participants asking, where is that? Sorry. What is the right type of meditation? Can you
The right type of meditation is, what is meditation? Meditation means zero mind. When your mind is empty, so that means you are in a meditative state. So when your mind is empty, then your awareness goes beyond the mind. So the right meditation is closing your eyes, clasping your hands, crossing your feet, sitting comfortably, closing your eyes, and observing your natural breath. So the more you observe your natural breath, the more naturally your mind becomes empty. The more your mind becomes empty, the more your awareness increases, the more you receive the cosmic energy. So that is the right meditation. And this is called Anapanasati meditation in Pali language. It is a breath awareness. You sit comfortably in a lock posture and then observe the breath. That is the right meditation. You can experiment and find out yourself.
So we have a couple of participants with the raised hands. So Shilpaji, yeah, you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you so much, Pradeep, for the wonderful session. My question is, I have a few health issues. So as of now, I'm going towards seeking help so that I can self-heal and come out of those issues, because those don't allow me to function productively in a given day, and also is not helping me to be financially independent. So is it okay to seek help and focus on the healing of my health issues, or should I just keep meditating and let it happen in its own pace?
Along with meditation, reading right spiritual books is also helping yourself. The more you read spiritual books, the more it motivates you to do more meditation, and also the more it helps you to understand a lot of things in depth. So reading right spiritual books is also helping yourself. And also the third is, you should always be with positive people. So try to make friendship with positive people. Try to make friendship with the people who are already meditators, who are senior meditators, and you listen to their experiences and you share your experiences and be in a positive environment. So when you try to be in a positive environment and read spiritual books and do meditation, you don't need to go to any therapist. That itself is enough. Okay. So the most important is to read the books, and also I understand in your situation you are looking for immediate help. The immediate help would be to participate in group meditations. So you find out where the group meditations are happening and make yourself part of that group, whether it can be online, virtual, or whether it can be physically in a meditation center. Wherever possible, just make yourself part of that group, that positive group. Then you receive that positive energy. So if you are part of a negative group, then you receive negative energy. But if you are part of the positive group, then you receive positive energy. So this is the energy science. Okay. And also try to keep your surroundings clean. Try to keep your surroundings clean and positive. Okay. So the more you keep your surroundings clean, and you can use nice music, you can use fragrance. So these are all helping yourself to go deep into meditation. So these are some of the things you can do. So first is, take care of your surroundings and take care of your food. Eat the food of high energy. Don't eat low energy foods. Don't eat processed foods. Don't eat the food of pain and suffering. Okay. And make friendship with positive people and read books. So that itself is enough support for you to overcome any challenge.
Okay. If in case I choose to take the help of a therapist or an alternative medicine person, will that do any harm, or is that okay?
It doesn't do any harm.
Okay.
It doesn't do any harm.
Thank you so much for your answer. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, friends, by the way, if anybody would like to, or anyone is searching for group meditation sessions, there are many group meditation sessions across the world in various time zones happening. So if you are interested, kindly drop your email ID so we can send those groups in your area, so you can get in touch with them. And we are also doing daily meditation sessions on weekdays on the same link you have joined today at 6 p.m. Europe time or 9:30 p.m. India time, or also 6 a.m. India, 9:30 a.m. India time. So, but apart from these timings on your time zones, there are many other groups. So please get in touch and we will put you in contact with them. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we have one more.
Yes, we have Devika Sidhu.
Sir, this black magic, how it works out, sir?
Let
Devika
you are
Sidhu.
focused. Sure, I think she's asking about black magic. Why you are focusing on negative, madam? When you focus on negative, you attract negative. So when you have a choice to speak positive, to focus on positive, to think on positive, then you will attract positive. So don't focus your energies towards any negative because you will attract it. Okay. All right. I think we are done with the questions, right?
Yes, Pradeep. We are done with the questions.
So friends, the very intention of this workshop is to help you to understand the bigger picture and help you to understand whatever happens in your life happens for a reason. And it is to have the necessary tools to face all your challenges. With the proper understanding, you can face all the challenges. And meditation is a very, very necessary tool. And being vegetarian is an absolutely a must. Being vegetarian is not for the sake of animals, it is for your own sake, for your own evolution. You please understand, when you become a vegetarian, you are not helping animals. The animals are getting helped in a way that's different, but you are helping yourself. So that is the most important thing. And with this understanding, thank you very much for this gathering. Thank you, Ramesh, and thanks all the participants for this gathering and for this sharing.